We are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our virtual morning job club. I'm Jay Prazo, and today we'll be going over cover letters, your personalized hello to employers. Last week, I said the key to writing a good resume was to stand out. The cover letter is another, more personal way to do that. Now, every employer is going to ask for a cover letter. Most entry-level jobs just want a complete application and maybe a resume. But some positions, especially if the letters are going directly to a person, benefit greatly from including a cover letter. The first and most important reason to include a cover letter is if the application asks for one. That doesn't mean you should include one if it's not asked for. Including a cover letter when most people don't puts you ahead of the pack. You're the guy who took the additional step. Great. But if a job posting asks for a cover letter, include a cover letter. The second and overall goal letter is to make an impression. The employer might be going through a stack of applications and be bored sick of most of them. They're eager to find ones they can pitch. Finding a good workers is hard, monotonous work at this stage. A good cover letter makes an impression and makes the employer eager to meet the applicant. Third, it allows you to zero in on something that is important to the employer and makes you stand out. You should already be doing this with your resume by tweaking it a bit for each job posting. But the majority of it is still going to be the same. A cover letter gives you an extra 200 to 300 words to expand your resume and sell yourself beyond just a flat list of qualifications. Finally, a cover letter doesn't need to be sent only with applications. You can also send a letter to companies you would like to work for, but even if they don't have current openings. It gets you on the radar. It shows that you are interested in them and not just a job. Feel free to send letters to former colleagues, friends, and mentors to let them know you are looking for work. Even if they don't have an name with a specific company, that's an additional person on the hunt with you. You'd be surprised how a well-worded please can get you. Now some general tips. I know several people who are intimidated by the prospect of writing a cover letter. I want you to know it's not that hard. If you already have a solid resume, that's most of the work. If you're applying to a lot of positions in the same industry, you can get away with about 75% of the same content with each letter, but change out some information on specific skills and experiences or some interesting tidbit about the company that interests you. Read the job posting and pull keywords and match yourself to their needs. Research the company. Check any information you can find on about their size, executive tree, what they're focusing on, how well they're doing in the industry. All these are tools to make your argument on why they need you. Don't include statements that make you sound desperate. It's not attractive in dating. It's not attractive in a job hunt. Same goes for I'm a hard worker statements. Everyone says it, but it's meaningless without context. Now, if instead you say something like, I always take overtime when it's offered me, or I'm the last person to leave for a day, or I raised sales by X amount last quarter, that shows you're a hard worker. Finally, have someone else look it over. No matter how many times you read it, someone else is going to catch something you glossed over 3 times. They can see the sentence was really too wordy, or that the letter could be improved expanding on this point. Find someone you trust and let them have 5 minutes with it. It's one of the best things you can do. Now here's a diagram cover letter I pulled somewhere, courtesy of Project Idea. As you see, a cover letter has 5 distinct parts: the sender's info, the recipient's info, salutation, body, and closure. For formatting, keep it simple. Standard 1-inch margins, single space, with space between each paragraph or line break. Keep the letter to 1 page and as short as possible, even if it's filled with good content. If it's too long, it's not going to hold the reader's attention. Remember, yours is not the only one on the employer's reading list. Respect their time and attention. These 2 points are a holdover to when you had to actually mail things. If you're emailing your cover letter directly to a hiring manager or HR representative, they will know who it's for, as long as it's clearly stated, as long as you clearly state the specific job you're interested in the application materials. Most importantly, but it's mostly optional, but it fills out some of the white space on the page and clearly delineates who the letter is from and who it's for. Not complicated, but always try to address the person who who you will work with under, and who knows that letter is going to first. Sometimes it's listed on the job posting, maybe in the company site. Or we can also try to find it in through an executive tree through a service such as Reference USA, which give you all kinds of information on a company, and it's free with your library card. Doesn't need a paragraph, maybe just one or two statements that express your interest in the position. This can be very basic, like, I'm interested in the warehouse supervisor position at X company, but that's not very persuasive and doesn't tell the employer anything about you. Check out these examples. I use one similar to above, and I generally like intro statements that get to the point in the first sentence by naming the exact position, company, and branch you're applying for. Include a hook to why they should keep reading, either your experience, why you're interested in position, or an interesting story. This is going to be the large portion of the letter, the main entree. Generally between 1 and 2 paragraphs. I'm not going to go over specific examples, as they're just too specific to the position or qualifications that you have to apply to it. But know there are several places where you can find examples. Here's points that are always good to include. Years of experience in the field, specific achievements in the industry. If you're just out of school, name a project that you worked on that they might like. What are you passionate about that the job fulfills? Relevant volunteer or community organization experience. Why you like the company. Include something about the company that's currently focused on and why it interests you. Generally anything that of interest that relates to position. There's a couple different ways to do this. As always, pick what works for you, but be consistent, be succinct, and be interesting. Restate that you would love to work with the employer and invite them to contact for an interview. If you want to be fancy, you can include your signature. It's easy just to print the copy of the letter out, sign it, and scan it back as a file. But you can also save a copy of the signature and paste down any future letters for your convenience. Now here we have we reviewed all the parts of a cover letter. Here's a complete one. This is just one template I found through OptimResume. I'll write into it with BrainFuse Job Now, which again, you have access free with your library card. It's an entry-level one, but there are others for mid-level and experience. The person here is just out of school, but they expand upon that with examples from coursework and internship experience. It ends with an open invitation to the employer to discuss the position. It's casual, but confident. Overall, a very solid letter. Now that you should hopefully understand what makes a good cover letter, we can start writing one. There are several available resources I can recommend to make the job easier. In-house, you have BrainFuse Job Now, offering their live writing coaches to answer in real time all your resume and cover letter questions. They also offer the Resume Lab, where you can find and you can send a copy of your resume or cover letter, and they'll have back within 24 hours with a solid list of revisions. It's accessible in and outside the library with your library card. One of the best sources of writing for all kinds of career documents is Purdue University's OWL, or Online Writing Lab. They have a wonderful guide for many different kinds of job documents, including cover letters. I cannot recommend them enough. Recently, I found a really good cover letter guide from JobScan. Pretty focused only on the technical aspects of writing, but JobScan really nails what content you should include and the additional types of cover letters. Finally, Indeed has a good selection of sample cover letters. That's all I had for today. I'll be sticking around a bit if you have any further questions on anything we went over today. I'm also free to set up a one-on-one appointment for all your career and business needs, including for resume and cover letter reviews. Last thing, this month we have a couple programs from the studio that might interest anyone looking for a job, especially in the IT field. First, we have Women in IT that's coming out on October 8th at 7 p.m. and Entry-Level Opportunities in IT, October 22nd, 7 p.m. as well. If you're leaving now, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.